I'll just speak to that. What we're seeing, I think what we see in this festival today, and we're seeing the work that we're doing, the work that I'm working on, is that we see these AI tools, and they can take an artistry and make it flower, but really everything that I'm seeing is coming from human artists. And the work that we're doing is with a lot of talented Hollywood or film artists who have years of experience as digital matte artists, character designers, and that they're learning these new tools and applying the AI tools. And so I think what we will see is amongst people with great, especially visual talent, which I think I understand how we're using it, we're going to see those people becoming, I think, much more powerful in their ability to execute their visions. And also, I think with the projects that we've been working on, we're seeing that people who have visual, basic visual art skills are much more valuable or much more central to the creation of the art, as you need visual art to drive AI. And so I think that's the thing that's really exciting is artists are actually have powerful tools that are going to make them more, I think, prolific. And so that I think is very exciting.
Because part of the question was about intellectual property.
Correct. How it could affect ownership, copyright laws.
Yeah. I mean, without all these conversations are going to delve back into the economy and UBI and what people do with their time and stuff. But like, I get a lot of pushback as again, I'm an editor, and they're making software that's coming from my job too. And I've had some discussions with people on my side of the industry, the ad agency and production side, and one of the things that's is that to me, I'm going to age myself here, is it reminds me of sampling from like the early 80s, from early hip hop and stuff. I think it's different. I actually think it's less intellectual property stealing. It's a little bit, but it's cut up. It's almost like those mortgage loans. It's cut up so finely, but it's very similar. Like, I don't know if you guys know the seminal De La Soul record, 3 Feet High and Rising. My older brother was actually an audio engineer and worked on that record. It only came out with streaming like the last year, because it took so long, because the laws, they were sampling stuff in late 80s or mid 80s before sampling was a thing. So there were no laws. So I think artists who've been trained on this stuff do have to be compensated. I'm definitely in that camp, but it's kind of a wild west. And so the intellectual property thing, I think we have to work it out into, because so we have to figure out a way to compensate people for what they do, whether it's for movies or commercials or whatever. Oh,
yeah, we talk about regulations, and this is a two-part thing. It requires politicians to pass regulations that benefits regular people, and not regulations that entrenches power of corporations that already exist. And that's the biggest thing, is that regulations are passed, it's going to be probably rigged, where OpenAI, Google, Gemini, like some other companies, have a moat now around them, and it's hard for competitors to get in. Now, this means at the state level for intellectual property. How does this connect to that? Right now, to me, it's a good argument that this stuff is all public facing that was trained on. I'm a professor, and I show movies all the time that are obviously copywritten to students to learn from. That is a very normal part of the process for me. That's film school. And the argument is going to be, well, we made an AI model that also learns, just like students, and it now regurgitates stuff. That's what AI does in this modern era. It just learns information, regurgitates it. The best way is clarity, that essentially a human being learns something, then the rules are different if a machine learns something. And I really think US case law is going to go on the side of these AI companies right now, unless regulation is pushed through that really is globally beneficial at the state level. That's why we're using most action, to make sure that anything learned within the state by a machine, human beings are exempt, has to pay copyright things that are different than a human being learns. So it's probably the cleanest way to deal with some of this stuff.